to hear me clearly? Everyone is able to hear me? Hello? Thing is, I can say Suganya, and the other two names it is saying waiting for names. Okay. Who all have joined? So yeah, now I can see you know only Suganya I can see. Even Rajini's thing I'm not able to see Rajini over there. So all of you are able to hear me, guys? Yeah, now Rajini has arrived. Alkesh, you are able to hear me? Alkesh, for some reason I'm not able to hear you. Uh, yeah, now you are unmuted yourself, but make sure. Yeah, now I was able to hear for a while, for a brief minute. And when you logged in, did you enter your name? It just says waiting for name. That's what it says. Hello? Guys, I can.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Norman here.
I can barely hear
Hello, you
you.
able to hear me?
I can barely hear you. There are
Hello?
some background noise, guys. Okay. But all of you are able to hear me.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Now,
1 second.
yeah. Now I'm able to hear you.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'm Nagmani. Rajni's there.
Okay. 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 Nagini. Thanks for joining. And there was one more person who was supposed to join. So for two persons, it says his name is waiting. So I was not sure. Okay. So just a minute. Okay. Guys, hold on for a while.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, guys. Thanks for waiting. Okay. So let's do one thing, guys. Okay. Let's go ahead and start off. Okay. And for those who have joined newly, okay, anytime they want to ask any question, they can ping me, or else they can unmute themselves and ask me any questions that they might be having. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. So uh,
One thing. Hello?
yeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I'm not able to see the
Yes.
video.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, now you guys should be able to see. Everyone should be able to see, correct? How about now, guys? Everyone is able to see the video, my screen, because I have shared it now.
Still launching? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's visible.
It's there, right? Okay, perfect, guys. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes. And otherwise, all of you can mute, and whenever you guys have any questions, please ask it. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and open this Eclipse. Okay. Now Rajni, Suganya, any doubts from the yesterday's class, guys? Anything that you want to ask from yesterday's class?
No, Vishal, everything is fine.
Okay, perfect. All right, Suganya, thank you. Okay. And you guys should be able to understand what is static and what is non-static, correct? I mean, there is no doubt in what is static and what is non-static. Okay, so that's great, guys. Now let me just go ahead and close these things. Okay, now did I tell you guys about something called as constructors in Java? Okay, constructors in Java. I have not discussed about constructors, correct? Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss about the constructors, guys. Okay, let me just create one class. Just give me 1 minute. Alright guys, let me go ahead and first of all, okay, so I think we discussed constructors a little bit. No, we have not. Okay, now let's go ahead and discuss about the constructors, guys. Okay, what are constructors in Java? Okay, see, I said if there is a class called student, okay, say there is the student class, and when you have the student class, say we have discussed student might have something called as int roll number. Okay, this is one of the property, and another property might be string name. This might be another property of this particular student class. And say there is one more class which will create the object of the student class. Okay, and it will say create obj. All right, and say it has the main method. Okay, because to start the execution we have to have the main method, correct? I mean, I cannot run this student class as it is. See, it is not giving me any option to run as a Java application because it doesn't have a main method. Only way I can run this class is I have to see here this class create object has main method, so it's giving me run as Java application. Okay, what is run on the server? Okay, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, if at all you are using some kind of development environment, okay, and you have to use some kind of servers like Apache Tomcat or JBoss, then those people will be using this run on the server. Okay, if at all you guys heard of something called as J2E, J2E or Spring Framework, okay, those people will have that particular option called as run on the server. Okay, all right guys. Okay, now uh, I believe yesterday's class, okay, I have told you guys, okay, like I just wanted to show you this quick demo, okay, before I can tell you about the constructors. I wanted to tell you something about yesterday's class, okay, and this is nothing to do with your Selenium, guys. Okay, I just wanted to give you a brief idea. Okay, say this is one of the application. Okay, so just a minute, guys. There is a table called patient table, guys. Okay, patient table, and it has all these properties. See, all these properties are there in the patient table. Okay. Now, what you need to understand is why I'm telling objects are so much important. Okay. See, there will be a class. Okay, this is not your code, guys. Okay, and don't get confused. Intention is not to confuse you, but just wanted to show you. Okay, there will be a class called patient.groovy. Okay, when you say patient.groovy, just imagine it as patient dot what do you call that, patient.java. Okay, instead of patient.groovy, you can say patient.java. Okay, so whatever you see, okay, when you create a patient, okay, it actually, when you say use some date of birth, okay, that particular date of birth when you're creating the patient will be assigned to this particular variable, guys. Okay, and when you store it, it will be stored in this database like this. Somewhere you will gonna see in the database there will be some row. Okay, whatever details that you pass, it will be saved, guys. Okay, in the database table. So that's what I want you to have a correlation between these classes and the database. Okay, this is how you will gonna save, guys. Okay, this is, you will see something. Okay, some of the things are encrypted. See, gender is there, male or female, and same thing you will see here as well. Okay. Okay, see, there is something called as gender. Okay, so it's like whatever you have in this class, okay, this patient class, the same will be mapped to the database as well. Okay, and you're gonna see similar thing in the database. Okay, that is the important thing to understand, guys. Okay, so when I talk about a class called patient class, okay, or student class, okay, just imagine, okay, it's like a table. Okay, it's like a table which has two columns. First column is roll number, and second column is, say, name, guys. Okay, and say this is the patient table. Okay, and you might have the sorry, this is the student class. Okay, student table. You might have roll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like this it will be there, guys. Okay, and the same way, okay, name 1, name 2. Okay, like this it will go on, guys. Okay, so I want you to have a correlation between, okay, the database. Okay, say there is a data table called student in the database, and it has two columns like this. Okay, when you read this particular row, okay, what will happen, an object will be created. Okay, say how you store the things in the database. Okay, we will not be seeing it practically, just I wanted to give you guys an overview. Okay, first of all, you have to create something called as student s1 equal to name of student. Okay, name of student. This is how you will create an object. Okay, now when you create some object like this, okay, you will you will get something like this. Okay, that will be an object. Okay, two things will be there. What role this object has, guys? It has the roll number and name. Okay, so roll number, since it's an integer, okay, roll number will be assigned to value of 0, and name will be assigned to null, guys. Okay, this is all we have studied so far. This is by default, it will be assigned those two values. Okay, but if you want to change those values, okay, you can definitely say s1 dot roll number equals to 33. Okay, s1 dot name equals to, say, Rajani. Okay, so when you do something like this, what's going to happen is, and if you save this particular object, okay, and this is exactly what happens, guys. Okay, if you save this object, okay, into the database, what will gonna happen is, in the database table there will be some entry like this, 33, and name will be Rajni. Believe me, guys. Okay, this is not, more than this. Okay, this is what is the significance of the objects. Okay, That's what I want you to understand. Okay. And first I said you will have MS Paint. I said you will have two objects like this. Okay, two objects like this, and sorry, only one object you will have when you say S1, and there will be two properties. Initially, when you create the object, two properties will be there. That is roll number, that will be assigned a value of 0, and one more property is name, it will be assigned a value of null, guys. Okay, for the object S1 object. Okay, S1 object. Okay, and when you execute this line number 7, okay, this is what is the state of the object. This is how the object will look like after executing line number 6. Okay, line number 6. But as soon as I execute line number 7, what will gonna happen, guys? Okay, this is what we have discussed. As soon as we execute line number 7, you will have something like this: 33. You will have roll number will be changed to 33, and as soon as you execute line number 8, your name will be changed from null to Rajni, guys. Okay, this is what we had studied. Okay, Rajani. This is exactly what we have studied, guys. But here there is a problem. Okay, here there is a problem. Say, and there is some code here. Okay, some code to save this object in database. Okay, say you have some code to save the object in the database. Okay, you would not be doing this, guys. Okay, I'm just telling you, uh, just it's good to know. Okay, say there is some code, some lines of code. Okay, some lines of code wherein you will save this object called S1 into the database. Now say database databases will have some kind of constraint. Okay, yesterday you said, okay, not null constraint, name should not be null, or something like this one should be unique. Okay, if at all roll number is the primary key, it should be unique. Okay, it should be unique like that. Say what's going to happen is someone might create an object, like this, and they might try to save this object. If they try to save this object, the name of this object will be null, and that will be stored in the database. Say you are making something like 55, and the name property of this object will be null. Why? Because by default the name property, that is string, will be null. Okay, so it will be stored in the database like this: 55 and null, which is wrong. Okay, so you say your constraint is this one: name column should not have the null value. This is your constraint. Okay, now what are the choices, guys? How will you do this? How will you make sure someone always initializes the name property? Someone will says name equal to some value they have to give. Okay, say Suganya, they have to give this value. How will you force them to do this? This is the question, guys. How will you force someone that whenever they create an object, and okay, this code is none of your business, guys, how to save the object in the database. Okay, but say you want to force someone, if someone is creating the object of your class, they should be initializing this particular name variable. Okay, there are two properties, correct? One is name property, that's what we have seen here. Name property and the roll number property. So how will you force someone to initialize the name property, guys? That is where your constructors comes into picture, guys. That is where your constructors comes into picture. Okay, now let's see. Now say I have this class. Okay, I have this class, student class. Okay, can you guys tell me if I say public void student, okay, say I have a class called student. It has two properties and a method. Okay, method is also a property. Okay, normally they will say method is also a property. That is what they will say. Now this is how we have seen, okay, methods, and normally you have not seen any method like whose name will be same as the class name. See, method name and the thing is this class name is same. Okay, for time being let me say print. Okay, something, method name is print. Now what I'm doing, how will I call this method, guys? How will I call? I have created the object. Okay, I have created the object. Yes, one. Suganya or Rajini, can you tell me how will I call?
It's
No.
S1 dot
Mhm.
print.
Correct, that's right. What I will do is I will just say s1 dot print. Correct, s1 dot print. That is it, guys. Okay, now if I run this particular thing, run as Java application, whatever is there in the thing will be printed. This is how we'll call the methods. Fine, guys, perfect. Now this is a method. Okay, this is a method. Now its name is print, but I will change the name from print to student. Okay, from student. Okay, and here I will call this particular method. Okay, I'm still saying it is a method. Okay, I'm running it. This is also fine, guys. Okay, so first thing what you have to know is just by changing the method name same as someone has to mute themselves. Someone has to mute, please. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, guys. When you don't have any question, you can mute yourself. Okay, so that there will not be any disturbances, and only when you have any questions you can unmute. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Say what I have done here. The method name and the class name is same, but is it a method? Yes, it is still a method. Now I will tell you when it will change from method to a constructor. I'm saying this is still a method. This one particular thing, it is still a method. I will tell you when it will change from method to a constructor. It will change from method to a constructor when I remove this return type. When I just remove this return type, now it becomes the constructor. So constructor is a block of code, okay, which doesn't have any explicit return type. and that particular name of the constructor will be same as class name. Name of the constructor will be same as class name, and there should not be any return type. You should not mention any return type. That is when it becomes the constructor. Okay. Now, since it's a constructor, I cannot call like this. See, it is saying method student is not defined. So it is saying it is indirect. It is giving you error here because it is saying you, I don't see any method named student, because till here, till this point of time, it was a method and everything was fine. But as soon as you remove the return type, it became a constructor. So now you guys should know at least what is constructor. Constructor will have same name as the class name, and there will not be any explicit return type. You will not be mentioning any return type. Okay, that's the thing. Not just void, guys. You write any return type, it is not a method. Okay, there should not be any return type mentioned. All right. So since it now it is giving you error because it is saying I don't see any method named student. I don't see any method named student. Fair enough, guys. Okay, so since we don't have a method, we cannot call like this. So let's remove this line. I have removed this line, guys. Now the question is, how will you call this constructor? How will you call this constructor? To call this constructor, nothing, guys. Okay, it's nothing. All these days we used to say, whenever we create an object of student class, we used to say new of student, correct? What is this new of student, guys? This new of student, whatever you are doing, you are actually this student, whatever you are calling here, okay, this one, it is actually called to the constructor. It is actually calling the constructor. This constructor. Can we check that, guys, quickly? If it is really calling this constructor, it should print this I am a student. I am student method. It should say I am student constructor. Okay, let me write something. Constructor in student class. Okay, if it is really calling this, it should print this, correct? Because this one should get executed. Let me run this, guys.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, Alkesh.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now I'm am I audible to you?
Okay, so I'm able to hear you. Are you able to hear us clearly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and Alkesh, whenever you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask any questions. If not, you can, you can keep yourself in mute condition. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Alkesh. Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. See, if I run this, you will see the output. Okay. It is actually calling this constructor. But if I remove this, constructor, that time also you will see this code is working, and even though it is not printing anything, but this code is working. Now the question is, when I don't have any constructor here, which constructor it is calling? Which constructor it is calling? That is the first thing. So the first rule is if your class doesn't have any constructor, then Java compiler will put a no argument constructor in your class. It happens behind the scene, guys. What I mean to say is, I don't have any constructor in the student class. Behind the scene, what your Java, Java compiler will do is, it will do something like this. Student, like this it will do. Behind the scene, okay? When it is compiling, it will compile it like this. But if you have some constructor, say some constructor, you have sys out. Now this is your constructor, okay? This is not something given by Java. I am in no argument constructor, okay? Now this is something which is your implementation. You have written this, correct? Now this time your compiler will not put any constructor. Your compiler will put a default constructor, no argument constructor, something like this behind the scene, only when you don't have any constructor. Say your code is like this, that's when your constructor will put one default constructor like this. That is the reason you are able to call this new of student, because because your Java compiler puts some constructor behind the scene. That is the first thing. Okay. Now the second thing is, when you have some constructor, what do I mean by no argument constructor? Am I passing anything here in this constructor? No, I'm not passing anything. That is the reason we say it is a no argument constructor, guys. We are not passing any argument. If you recall about methods, whatever we discussed in methods, what is no argument method, guys? The method which doesn't take any inputs, any argument that we have seen. The same thing is here. A no argument constructor is something which doesn't take any argument. Fair enough, guys. Okay, fine. So now when you run this, it is calling this constructor. Okay, this is fine. Now, can I have more than one constructor in a class, guys? More than one constructor? Definitely you can have, guys. You can have more than one constructor. What do I mean by more than one constructor, guys? I can say string name. Now the second constructor takes string as an argument, guys. Second constructor takes string as an argument. Okay, how to call that constructor, I will tell you, guys. How to call that constructor, I will tell you. Okay, and give me 2 minutes, guys. Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you. Alright guys, thanks for waiting. Okay, and sorry about that. Actually, I'm in my office, and I'm taking classes from my office. Okay. Alright. So I have one more constructor here. And what is that constructor, guys? What is that other constructor? This constructor takes a single string argument. This constructor takes single string argument. Okay. Now, how will you call this constructor? Any suggestion, guys? How will I call this constructor? Same thing, guys. I can say student s2 equal to name of student. That's it, guys. That's it. And here you have to say, you have to pass, just a minute. Just a minute, guys. Okay, yeah, we have to pass some argument. Okay, say I might pass some argument like this. Okay, say Vishal. Now I am calling this constructor. So let's check, guys. Okay, I am a single argument constructor. Okay, first, no argument constructor I am calling. I am creating one object. Second, I am calling single argument constructor, guys. Single argument constructor and no argument constructor. Alright, now we know, but what is the use of the constructor? I still did not tell you, guys. What is the use of the constructor? I did not tell you. And you can have like this many constructor in a class, guys. Okay, and this is how you will call the constructor. I hope there is no doubt. Correct? Okay, say I am doing something here. Say if I say SYSOUT S1, say I'll just show you it in a debug way. Okay, I will say SYSOUT end of main method. Okay, end of main method. I'll put a breakpoint here and debug. I'll just show you this debug thing. If you see in the variables, I'm not able to see. Just a minute, guys. Okay, it's here. Sorry. If you see, two objects are there. S1 object, which is at the memory location. S1 object, which is at the memory location. This one. S2 object, it is at the memory location. This one. Name is null. Roll number is null. And we have seen, if I want to initialize name or roll number, I can always say s1 dot name or s1 dot roll number. Similarly, s2 dot name, s1 dot s2 dot roll number. I can definitely do like this. I can definitely do like this. But my concern right now is I don't want to give, say, student class is created by Rajni. Okay, somewhere it is there, okay, it is, say, it is somewhere there in some class here. Okay, how we call this string. String is actually a class in Java, correct? I mean, it's not our class. Okay, if you see, it is string. There is a class called string. We are calling this class. It is in which package? Java.lang package. It is in which jar? If you see these guys, it is in jar called rt.jar, rt.jar, which comes along with your Java. Okay, so in the same way, the student class might be anywhere, guys. Okay, may say student class is created by Rajni, and this particular create object code is written by Suganya. What Suganya does here is she will create the object and she will save in database. She will create the object and save in database. Okay, this is what Suganya does. This is what Suganya does. But Rajni has some kind of restriction. Rajni wants to make sure that if someone creates the object of this student class, they have to initialize this name property. That's when they have to save it. Rajni wants to put this restriction. What Rajni will do is, Rajni will give only one constructor. Now, one thing what you have to understand is, when you have when you are creating the object of any class, if there are no constructor, then you can call the default constructor like this, like line number 6. But if there is a constructor, you have to call that constructor itself. You cannot call this default constructor, because now since there is a constructor here, your compiler will not put a default constructor. Compiler will put a default constructor only when you don't have any constructor in this class. So you one thing for sure, you cannot create the object like this. That Rajni made sure. And what Rajni can do here is, in her implementation, she can say name 1. Okay, she will say name equal to name 1, name equal to name 1. Name equals to name 1. This is what Rajni will say. This is exactly what Rajni will say. Now, what we are doing here, whatever you are passing here, okay, whatever Rajni is, whatever who Suganya is passing from here, okay, it gets assigned to name1 variable. And okay, so what is happening, whatever Suganya is passing, it gets assigned to name1 variable, and you, whatever it is there in the name1 variable, say Vishal is there, so Vishal you are assigning it to this name variable. What is this variable, guys? This is nothing but this global variable. So I'm basically initializing the global variable. Now, can you guys tell me, is there any way wherein someone can create the object of this class? Someone can create the object of this class without initializing the name variable? You can never ever create the object without, see, you cannot do like this. You cannot do like this because there is no argument constructor. You have to call one among existing constructor, or else you can call no argument constructor only when there are no constructor like this. That's when you can call. Now it is fine. But if you have a constructor like this, you cannot call no argument constructor. You have to pass something. Okay, so something you have to pass. Okay, so by this way Rajni can make sure that when she's writing this student class, she can make sure if someone creates the object of student class, they will go ahead and automatically they have to go ahead and initialize, they have to pass this name, and Rajni will take care of the rest. Okay, she will make sure this name one whatever they are passing, it is initialized to this. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly check it, guys. Okay, sysout s2 dot name, s2 dot name, s2 dot roll number. Okay, now if I run this class, see name, it is printing Rajni. Is there any doubt, guys, why it is printing name as Rajni now? Okay, so what you're doing when you're creating the object itself, when you're creating the object itself, you are making sure that you are initializing this name property. So it will be like this. When you create the object, like this, your name will be initialized to something that you have passed, guys, something that you have passed here. If you pass Alkesh, okay, if you pass Alkesh, then this Alkesh will be assigned it to name. Okay, let's see that, guys, quickly. Okay, see, any doubt, guys, anybody? No doubt? Perfect, guys. Okay, I will just show you one debug view here. Okay, debug view. Debug as Java application. Okay, if you debug as Java application, don't worry what is this args. Okay, there is only one variable called args. Don't worry. If I execute this line number 6, what you see, guys, if I execute this line number 6, see there is a object called s2, and it is already name is initialized to Alkesh, roll number is 0. Okay, and now you can print those things, Alkesh and roll number. That's all about it, guys. This is the use of the constructors. Okay, they will always say constructors are used to initialize the object. Constructors are used to initialize the object. This is why they say that. This is why they say constructors are used to initialize the objects. Okay, now here is one more question, guys. Okay, let me just put this particular code in your notes. Just a minute, guys. Okay. Okay, this is how you will do it. Now tell me, guys, one of you, I want to have, now Now my requirement is little different. My requirement is little different. Now the requirement is, here the requirement was, I should not be able to create an object without initializing the name property. Now I am saying I should not be able to create an object without initializing roll number and the name property. What should I do, guys? What changes I will do in Student Plus? Yeah. So Rajni is saying student int roll number should be included. Second for roll number along with string.name. Alkesh is saying pass two arguments, one for name and second for roll number. That's right, guys. That's absolutely right. And should I have this student this particular constructor, or should I remove this single argument constructor? Should I have that constructor or should I remove that constructor? Okay. Now Rajni is saying it should be there. Now Alkesh is saying just put something like int roll like this. Okay. And probably your next answer is roll number is equal to roll. Okay, this is what you are saying. Okay, this is what Alkesh is saying, but Rajni is saying you can keep the first thing like this. You can keep like this, but you create one more constructor like this. Now the problem is, if you keep this first constructor, then someone can definitely create an object without initializing the roll number property. Yeah, Rajni, you said the same thing. Okay, perfect. Yes. Okay, so my requirement was no one should be able to, okay, perfect, Rajni, thanks a lot. Okay, no one should be able to create an object without initializing with both the properties. So if I remove this now, okay, now I cannot call this constructor because there is no such constructor which takes single string argument. There is a constructor which takes a string argument and an integer, say 99. That's it, guys. That's it. This is why they say constructors are used to initialize the object. Constructors are used to initialize the object. Alright? Yes, that's right. Alkesh, you have to pass two variables, two values to initialize this object. That is the thing. Okay? This is how you can put restrictions. Okay, and this is what, but you know, people might think, okay, and if there is no restriction, okay, no restriction, then you know you can have one single argument constructor, one two argument constructor, one no argument constructor. You can have whatever you want to have. Okay, absolutely fine, guys. You can have one like this. You can create object in any way. Up to you guys. You can create object in any ways. Up to you guys. If there are no restrictions as such. If there are no restrictions as such. Okay, that is the thing, guys. Give me 1 minute. And there is nothing more than this in the constructor, guys. Okay, now one of the very important thing to know, before I tell you about that important thing, I wanted to discuss something like this. Okay, just a minute. I want to create a class. Okay, a class called as, say something, example, global local variables. So Rajni and Suganya, we have already discussed what is a local variable and what is a global variable, correct? If at all we have discussed, you tell me int a, int b, sorry, a string b, boolean flag, boolean c, string d. Among these, which one is a global variable and which one is a local variable? Just a revision, guys. Which one is a global variable and which one is a local variable? A and B are global. That's what Rajni says. And so that means that C and D are local? Huh? Yes. If it is in some methods, if variables are there declared in some methods, they are local variable. Okay? And these C and D are declared in main method, so these are the local variables. Fine, guys, fair enough. You know basics of what is local variable and what is global variable. Now tell me, guys, int roll number, and I want to what I am doing is sysout roll number. Okay, I will just make it a static. We have already discussed what is static, what is non-static. Okay, if I run this class, what will be printed on the console, guys? What will be printed on the console? 0. Fair enough. If I do something like this, correct, it will be print 0 will be printed, because by default the global variable will be initialized to some value and integer will be initialized to 0. Now say, if I say int, same thing, int roll number, Now what will be printed, guys? 66 or 0, what will be printed? Yeah, 66, 66. Okay, any doubt, guys? Anyone? Okay, if there is no doubt, if there is no doubt, tell me, guys. There is a method, say public static void initiate. It takes an integer argument int roll. Okay, and I'm saying roll number equal to roll. This is what I'm saying, and I'm calling this method here in the main method, and I'm passing something like 23, and then I'm saying sysout 23, sorry, sysout roll number. What will be the output of this particular program? If there is any doubt, please ask me, guys. Please ask me. 23, yeah, no doubt, because first this line will be executed, initiate 23, and you are passing 23 here. This roll will be assigned to this roll number, that is, this one will change from 0 to 23 now, and you are just trying to print that thing. Now, this is interesting, see, guys. See, no change, okay, only change I am making is here. Instead of this roll, I am making it as a roll number. Now tell me, guys, what will be printed? See, I have changed here from roll to roll number, so here also I have to change from roll to roll number. Now tell me, guys, what will be the output on the console? And here is the thing, think and tell me. Whoever gives the correct answer, think and tell me, guys. Okay, whoever gives me the correct answer with the reason, they can pay me 50 rupees less from the class fees, guys. Okay, if they give the correct answer. Okay, 50 rupees less. Okay, so normally I used to give chocolates and all. Okay, definitely I cannot do that in online classes, but yeah, they can, they have a chance to earn 50 rupees. Okay, they can, when they are paying me, they can deduct 50 rupees from that thing if at all you give the correct answer for this. And don't do it on your local machine and do it, guys. Don't do it on your local machine, but just, you know, apply your logic and see. Apply your logic. Okay, so now I'll ping you something, guys. I'll say type, and now whatever answer you are giving me, that will be counted, guys. Okay, if it is null, you have to give me the answer. If it is 0, you have to give me the answer. If at all, 23, you have to give me the answer. If it is something else, that also you have to give me the answer. You have to give me the reason. Okay, the reason is very important, guys. Okay, and I will ask the reason from the people, those who have correctly answered. Okay, okay, you had pinged previously 23. Is that your answer, or some other answer you have? Yeah. One more time to think. No, no. You no, no. So your reason is secondary, guys. Okay. What is your answer? 23 or 0 or something else? Okay. Now, Suganya, why do you think it is 0? Yeah, Rajni, you said 0. That's right. So correct answer is 0. But why do you think it is 0? That is the. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. No. No, that's not the answer. No, it has nothing to do with the return type. You can mute yourself, Suganya. Rajni, you have see Suganya is saying return type is void, okay? And sometimes I might say that your answer is not correct, but just to make the second person, those who are answering, just to confuse that person, okay? But you go by whatever you think, okay? Don't think that since I said void, that is incorrect answer, okay? So whatever according to you, what is the justification? Why you think it is 0? So when you told about void, that's fine. Now you're talking about the static. The question is to Rajni because answer is 0. That's correct. But the question is to Rajni. Rajni, you're there?
Yes, Vishal.
Yeah. So can you give me the reason why you said 0?
I thought wide, but you told wide is not the thing.
Okay. Who had answered just 2 minutes back? Was it Rajni or Suganya?
Me.
Okay, okay, Rajni. So you have already answered. So yeah. So sorry, Suganya. So it's your turn. So why you think, Suganya, it's a since static variable? So what happens if it is static? Well, what is the problem? No, guys, that's not the thing. The real reason is, say if the global variable and the local variables are same, and you are just saying roll number, which one? Why do you think it will go ahead and your answer is right, okay? But what I told you guys, you have to give me the reason. See, what's happening here is, okay, what's happening here is when you call this particular method initiate method, it will call this method, and 23 will be assigned to this roll number. So roll number will have value of 23. This is perfect. So far it is fine. Now you are assigning that roll number to itself. You are not accessing the global variable. Are you accessing the global variable here? Here, this one? No, guys, it is again this local variable. You are assigning the value of that variable to itself. You are not doing anything. You are not initializing the global variable. That is the reason it is giving you 0. And it would have worked fine if the local variable and the global variable were different. See, now the local variable is number 1, I said, roll number 1, and here global variable. This works fine when you have different name for global variable and the local variable. But when you have the same name for global variable and the local variable, and when you just call that name, it will not gonna refer to the global variable. When you say roll number here, it's not gonna refer to the global variable. See, when I click click, double click, this one is getting highlighted, this one. Is it the global variable is getting highlighted? No guys. So in this method, you are not initializing the global variable guys. It might look like that you are initializing the global variable, but you are not initializing the global variable. That is the problem. And it works fine when you have different local variable and different global variable. Because when you say roll number, it's always the global variable because there is no other variable called roll number in this method. Understood guys why it is giving you 0 or any question guys? Feel free. Anyone? Any question? Yes. So Rajni wants us to explain again. Okay, Rajni, what you're doing? Say your execution starts at line number 7. Line number 7, what you're doing? You are calling this initiate method. Okay, when you call this initiate method, your this 23, whatever you're passing, it will be assigned to this roll number. Correct? And this roll number is a local variable here. Correct? And we have already said, we have already discussed something like this. You know, when you call, say here roll number will be 23. Okay, roll number will have the value of 23. Okay, because you are calling, you are passing this 23. But where you are assigning this 23 to the global variable, are you assigning this 23 to the global variable? No. When you say roll number, it's a local variable. It is nothing but this variable. When you say this roll number, when you say this roll number, it's a local variable. When you say this roll number, this is also a local variable. So you are in effect assigning the value of a variable to itself. It is something like this. It is something like this. If you have a class called, you know, class called A, okay, class called A, and you have an integer called int x, okay, equal to 20, okay, int x equals to 20, and here in the global variable also you have static int x equal to 30. Okay, if you do x equal to x, do you think it will go ahead and access this global variable? And if I print, how to access that global variable guys, sysOut, if I want to access that global variable which is a static, I said a dot, that is class name dot global variable name. If I do this, it is giving me 30, but is it giving me 20 guys? No, because here you are basically assigning value of x, that is local variable, to itself. You are not doing anything else. You are not changing the global variable. If you really want to change the global variable, you might do like this, a dot x equal to x. Now you are changing the global variable value from 30 to 20 guys. Okay, let's see. See, now it is saying 20. So when you have the same local and global variable and you just calling by the name, okay, name, then it will always refer to the local variable guys. Here also it's happening the same thing. You have a local variable roll number, you are assigning its value to itself. That's it. You are not initializing this, you are not assigning this value to the global variable. That is what is happening. Rajni, are you able to understand or any doubt? Feel free guys, anyone. And that is exactly the reason it is printing you. Sorry guys. Okay, this is exactly the reason it is happening like this. It is giving you this particular output. Okay, so one of the option for you to initialize this global variable is something like this. That is class name dot variable name. This is one of the option that you have, guys. Okay, so you have this option and it will work fine. Now if you run this class, it is giving you 23. You are actually now initializing the global variable. Understood, guys? This is fine, guys. Okay, this is fine. So far good. But what if your global variable is not a static variable? What will you do? What if your global variable is not a static variable? How will you initialize the global variable? That is the question, correct? That is what we're gonna see now. Okay, that is exactly we're gonna see now. Let me go back to the student class and let me go back to the create object. Okay, now tell me, guys, if I say what will be the output on the console, guys? What will be the output? Alkesh is saying allocation 99. Alkesh is saying it will gonna print allocation 99. Any other answers, guys? Any correct answers or any wrong answers? Rajni is saying Alkesh and 0. Okay. Any other answer? Anyone? Anyone, guys? No? Suganya, what happened? It's confusing. Suganya is saying yes. Now there you go. Rajni has changed her answer. Suganya also gave some answer. Okay, fine, guys. Fine, fine. Fair enough. Okay, let's check, guys. Okay, let's check it step by step. I'll go one step back. I'll say name one, roll number one. This is name one, roll number one. Okay, one step back and then I'll come back to this. Run as Java application. It is printing allocation 99, but I have made name one and roll number one. Let me show you the debug of this. Okay, debuggers. Java application. Okay, I have come here. I'm in this particular thing. Name 1 has Alkesh, rule number 1 has 99, and role global variables are null and 0. Now I am saying name equals to name 1. So this Alkesh should be assigned to this name global variable. Let's see guys, and don't try all these things, okay, just for your demonstration I'm telling you. It should change this from null to Alkesh, okay, that is the global variable. It should change. See, it changed. Now I'll execute line number 10. Now I'll execute line number 10, and it should change from 0 to 99. See, it changed from 0 to 99. Okay. Now if you print s2 dot name, that it will print Alkesh, s2 dot roll number, because s2 object has name equals to Alkesh, roll number equals to 99. That's all about it guys. But if you don't say name 1, and when you say don't say roll number 1, here you cannot use that because there is no such uh, thing called roll number 1 and name 1. Now when you have something like this, what's gonna happen guys? Same thing. Now name has Alkesh, roll number has these local variables I'm talking about, okay? But global variables are null and 0. I am executing line number 9. Previously what happened when I executing line number 9? When I was executing line number 9, what happened guys? It had put this name into this name variable. But now you see, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Roll number equals to roll number. Nothing is happening guys. So in effect you are not initializing this global variables guys. You are just initializing this local variables. The same thing what we discussed just couple of seconds back. Same thing guys. Okay. So if you see s2 name is null, roll number is 0. Exactly the same thing guys. Exactly the same thing. Understood guys? Any doubt, anyone? Here we are using the constructors, but previously the demo what I showed you, there I had used the methods. Rajni, any doubt? Alkesh, any doubt? Okay. Alright guys, alright. Perfect. See, by this time, I don't think, there is a lot of problems when it comes to constructors. But we had just discussed things like, if, see, roll number was a static variable, if at all roll number was static variable, I could have done, how I would have done, I would have initialized this global variable roll number like this, class name dot roll number. But it is not a static variable guys. How will I access the global variables here? The one method you might say, why you are complicating things guys? Why you are complicating things Vishal? Keep a different name for global variable and local variable. It solves your problem. That is what you will say. Why you are trying to complicate? Fair enough guys, okay, what you are saying is absolutely right. And you might not even find difficulty when you are a Selenium developer, okay, because the complexity of the code will not be so high guys when it comes to Selenium developers. And believe me guys, whatever you guys are learning right now, okay, I will tell you around 85% of the Selenium developers doesn't know these facts, guys. Believe me, guys, okay? Even I'm not just talking about the Selenium test engineer, I'm talking about Selenium test lead as well. They don't know all these stuffs, whatever I'm discussing with you. So try to understand this, guys. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is you can very well say that something like this and it solves your problem. Because all I want to initialize is global variables, keep a separate name for local variable and global variable. If you say that, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's definitely not wrong. It's correct, guys. But when you work on some kind of development project and there is a large project, believe me, guys, okay, believe me, some methods might go for, if at all possible, I'll try to show it here. Just a minute, guys. Some methods might go for even 2000 lines, guys. Okay, you will never know. Okay, so this is starting at line number 103. I'm not sure whether no index will not be bigger than 147. No, here there is nothing big. Okay, yeah, this is quite big enough, guys. Okay, it started at what? My God, see, it just goes on. It goes on till 700 lines. It starts at somewhere around 214 and it goes all. It's around 500 lines, 550 lines of code. One method, guys. When the complexity of the method increases so much, 500 lines of code. Okay, this is nothing, guys. Okay, even 2000 lines of code is common in a development environment. That time you will always prefer to have same name for global variable and the local variable. The reason is you you started writing the code and somewhere down at the bottom you need not remember what is the name of the global variable and what is the name of the local variable. You need not remember that. You just need to remember roll number. Okay, local variable also will be same, global variable also will be same, but how to access that I'll tell you guys. Okay, so this approach they will follow in the industry, guys. This is what they will keep the same local and global variables when it comes to constructors. Okay, most of the times it is I'm talking about the constructors. Okay, because basically the constructors are used to initialize the objects you are saying. Okay, so they will try to keep the same thing. Then if it is same, how will I access the global variables? That is the question. There is a beautiful keyword in Java called as this keyword, and this can be an interview question, guys. This can be an interview question. If you say this dot name, it will gonna refer the global variable, guys. See, I'm removing this here. Okay, just see what happens when I'm removing this. Just a minute, guys. When I'm removing this, it is when I'm highlighting this name, it highlights this name and this name. Okay, these three gets highlighted. But as soon as I say this here, say this name will be highlighted. See, huh? As soon as I say this dot, see, the upper name is getting highlighted. In the same way, if you say this dot roll number, upper roll number will be highlighted, guys. Now if you say, now if you call, it is actually doing what you want it to do. You wanted to initialize the global variables, guys. This is the use of this keyword, guys. This keyword. Any doubt, anyone? There are other uses, we're gonna see it, but as of now, any doubt? Anyone? No doubt? Perfect. Perfect. I will tell you the other use of this keyword in tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's class, we will be learning something called as constructor. Constructor chaining. Okay, I'm very bad at the spelling, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, constructor chaining, that we're gonna see. But before I can wind up for today, I want to ask you guys one question here. Think and answer. Okay. Yes, Rajini, you wanted me to explain this keyword here. Is that your question? All right, no issues. Perfect, no issues. So what I'm trying to say is, say, let me remove this. Okay, let me remove this keyword, and this keyword is not there. So basically we are not initializing the global variables. So global variables will be always will be null and 0. Correct? That's the reason it is giving me this output. But if you want to access the global variable, how will you access? If it was a static, then it's fine. You will say class name dot this one. Okay, if this was static and this was also static, which one? This is also static. Then you can say class name dot variable name. Now it will here whatever local variable value you are passing, alkesh, you are assigning it to global variable. Student name will give me global variables because these are static variables. Okay, and it will give me the correct answer. Any doubt so far in this code? Anyone? In last class we have discussed about static and non-static. Okay, all right. If there is no doubt, the next thing that I'm trying to say is, what if this is not static and this is also not static? Then what's the thing, guys? Then I cannot access it like this. I cannot access it like this. Student name, student, that is class name dot variable. I cannot access it like this. So only way in that case, you want to access the global variable, you have to say this dot that variable name. Again here also this dot variable name. Now this is pointing to, when you say this dot name, it will point to the global variable name. This dot roll number will point to global variable roll number. See, now it is giving you Alkesh and 99. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? Or Rajni, did I confuse you more, or is it clear now? Feel free. Clear? Okay, perfect. Anyone out there? Any doubts? Nagaveni or Suganya? Anyone, guys? No? Alright, guys, perfect. Alright. Now, so you guys understood what is this keyword. Now, use your brain and answer me this, guys. Okay? Answer me this. And believe me, guys, if at all you guys are able to understand all these things, there is no one like you in Selenium. Okay? There is no one to compete with you guys in Selenium. Okay? Believe me, guys. Okay? Not even a tech lead, a Selenium tech lead. Now tell me, guys, what will be the output? Sukanya is saying null and 0. Alkesh is saying null and 0. What's up, Rajni? What do you think? Same answer as previous. Alkesh and 99. Alright, guys. Anyone, Nagavini or anyone for that matter, any other want to change their answer or any new answer? No? This is the answer, guys. How many of you are confused about this answer? Yeah? Alright, Rajni, no issues. Let's see this. What's happening? What's happening here is, yeah, Nagavini, you also have the doubt or you don't have any doubt here?
No doubt.
Alright, thanks Nagavini. Suganya is saying, pointing to the current object, that's null and 0. Okay, I'll gonna say this, guys. Okay, Alkesh battery is about to die. Okay, no Alkesh, we are done with this. Okay, we are done with this, but I will be uploading all the videos till tonight. Okay, tonight I'll be uploading all those videos. Please try to go through the previous videos. Okay, that's the thing. All right, so what's happening here is we are done, not more than 3-4 minutes. You are passing this Alkesh and 99. So name variable will have Alkesh and 99 will be assigned to roll number variable. Okay, that is the thing. So name will have Alkesh and roll number will be 99. This is what it will be there. Now what is the value of this dot name? Rajni, what is the value of this dot name? If I print null, correct? And what is the value of this dot roll number? 0, correct? So I am assigning this null to this name variable because it's a local variable, correct? I'm calling it like this, and I'm assigning this dot number, that is 0, to this roll number. That is all about it, guys. Okay, so whenever someone gives you anything like this, okay, go step by step. Okay, and answer is right there. Still, anyone, any doubt? Anyone? This keyword is important, guys. Okay, they ask you in the interview, it might not be having, you can very well lead the life without using this keyword, but it's good to know. They might ask you in the interview, and believe me guys, most of the time they themselves will not know, but they have read some book and they are just asking you. But try to understand this concept. That's what is important, guys. Okay, all right guys, if there are no doubts, okay, that's it for today. Okay, thanks to all of you for joining. Suganya, Rajni, Nagavini and Alkesh. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.